Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Goji. I collect, and then I dissect. And we all know why we're here, so let's cut to the chase. Godzilla vs. the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is a 5-part comic series that pits these two properties together for the first time ever. Toho International, Hasbro, IDW Publishing, and Boom Studios all collide in order to bring us this epic comic line, and judging from the way the covers look, we're in for a wild ride. The story was by Cullen Bunn, the art was by Freddie Williams II, and it was colored by Andrew Dalhouse. Seeing as I'm the collector, it's only natural I'm a huge fan of both of these properties. So when I heard they were making a Godzilla vs. Saban's The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic line, I had to jump all over that shit. It's the perfect crossover. It's the king of the monsters versus the team of teens with attitude that kill kaiju on the weekly. In this episode, we'll be focusing specifically on the first 2 issues of the comic line. Before our character analysis, I'd like you to meet Littlefoot the Destroyer, who has her own shorts on the channel. She'd really appreciate it if you'd give us a like and a subscribe. It would really help us to continue our operations. Isn't that right, baby girl? Based on a Japanese TV show, The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers featured 5 teens with attitude used the power coins to transform into the Power Rangers. They had their own cool weapons, but even cooler, they had their own Zords. Each Zord on its own is formidable. However, their true ability is to combine to create the ultimate badass Megazord. Not only is this kaiju ass-kicking machine a bitch to fight hand-to-hand, but he has his nifty mammoth shield, which he can use to defend himself from almost any attack. Then, it has the Power Sword, and this thing can slice through anything. And then there's this beast. Tommy Oliver, aka the Green Ranger, was so powerful he gave the other Rangers the business for 4 solid episodes. His weapons are super deadly, but he has one in particular called the Dragon Flute Dagger. When the flute part is played, it summons the almighty Dragon Zord from the depths of the sea. Dragon Zord, much like Mecha Godzilla, can shoot missiles from its fingers, causing quick flurries of damage. That's not all. It has another attack, its drill bit tail, making the Dragon Zord very formidable. The Zords, however, are not invincible. They can be defeated. They can run out of energy, they can be trapped by magic, or they can be damaged to the point where they just simply fall apart. Now that we've seen what the Power Rangers will bring to the fight, it's time to introduce the King of the Monsters. Beginning in 1954, Godzilla has had many incarnations throughout the years, but the one thing that remains the same is he is the most destructive force the Earth has ever seen. Godzilla's signature attack, his atomic breath, is so powerful it can put kaiju and mechs alike on the shelf. It can stop comets, he can even fucking fly with it, but he also has a devastating tail whip attack. However, Godzilla can be damaged, and he's been fucked up pretty badly a time or two, and he's not without his losses. He's lost to an overgrown moth and a giant orangutan. Now let's dive into the first issue and see what chaos unfolds. We begin with the Green Ranger following the evil sorceress Rita to a temple where she's attempting to take the multiversal focus. Rita intends to use it to go to another dimension where there are no Power Rangers. The Green Ranger attempts to stop her, however he is too late, and they are sent into a different dimension. They land to learn they're in a different dimension's Angel Grove, but when they look up they see Godzilla and Megalon fighting it out. While the monsters fight, Rita notices a spaceship and decides they should investigate. Once inside the ship, Goldar and Scorpina immediately defeat the aliens, and Rita asks to see their leader, and that's when the Supreme Controller steps forward. They agree to work together to defeat Godzilla. Meanwhile, Zordon tells the Rangers that Tommy has been sent to another dimension, and that he may be in trouble. They need to go after him, and fast. The Green Ranger awakens to find Godzilla and in a panic summons the Dragon Zord. While our two combatants stare each other down, Rita tries a mind control spell on Godzilla. However, he's too powerful and it fails. No matter, the mech and the kaiju begin battle. The Dragon Zord manages to scratch Godzilla, and when Godzilla backs up, the Dragon Zord unloads, shooting every missile in its finger launchers. However, Godzilla sweeps the Zord's legs, and that's when the Green Ranger realizes a huge attack is coming. The Dragon Zord is hit with a huge atomic breath, and then Godzilla picks it up, ready to smash it to pieces. The Green Ranger in total disbelief, and just then, the Rangers show up, ready to jump into action. Holy fucking shit, the Dragon Zord got faded by Godzilla, and that was just the first issue. That was nuts. Godzilla ragdolled the Dragon Zord. Now I'm very eager to pick up the second issue and see how the Power Rangers and the Megazord fare against the King of the Monsters. That was fucking nuts. Issue 2 begins by the Power Rangers calling forth their Zords to fight Godzilla. However, they soon realize that's not enough and they must form the Megazord. Godzilla fires an atomic blast at the mech. However, they're able to use the Mammoth Shield to block the attack. Meanwhile, on the ground, Goldar captures the Green Ranger and takes him back to the spaceship. The Megazord summons its strongest weapon, the Power Sword, and both foes charge each other in battle. They strike each other with their strongest attacks, both severely injured. Rita turns to the Supreme Controller and says now's their chance to take them both out. The Green Ranger tries to struggle and get away, but is unable, as the spaceships lay siege to both the Rangers and Godzilla. Godzilla flees, and the Power Rangers are forced to demorph so their Zords can heal and so they can hide. In the meantime, the Rangers decide to try to help the civilians down below, and in doing so learn that Godzilla was the only thing standing between Earth and an Exilian takeover. The Rangers manage to find a crashed spaceship and decide to use that bitch to board the mothership. Once on board, it's morphin' time as a big battle breaks out. However, in the chaos, Rita escapes and the Supreme Controller unleashes the Gigan. The Rangers realize they have a really big fucking problem and summon the Zords to fight the Gigan. However, the Zords prove ineffective and the Rangers realize they must use the Megazord. As they watch Gigan get the upper hand, Rita gets an idea and turns to Finster, telling him to cook up some monsters and send them into battle. And thus we end issue 2 with the Megazord on the ground and surrounded. My diagnosis is that Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is fantastic, and you need to go to your local comic book store and pick this set up ASAP. The artwork is fantastic, the story is great, it's a set you can read from start to finish and enjoy every second, and if you're a fan of either one of these franchises, then you need to have these books in your collection. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Dr. Goji, I collect and I dissect, and this has been Littlefoot the Destroyer, and we'll catch you next time.